Racecoast racing continues as we wrap up the weekend's racing action on Sunday. It's the KZN Breeders' Race meeting at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Hello again from me, Rouvaun Smit. Good to have you along for the preview of this 10-race program that gets underway at 11:40. 3 races, those being races 1, 2 and 8, will be run on the turf, while the rest of the meeting will be run on the poly track, and I thought it was sort of a mixed bag of races. There are 1 or 2 races where horses really stand out. I may have found a bit of value towards the latter part of the day, but they still have to come and win. And then there are races that you need to play with a bit of cover if you are getting involved in the exotics on the afternoon. So it is one of those race meetings where I hope you're going to study, listen to what I have to say, check the betting, and then also make sure that you've got all the card changes prior to the start of this race meeting. The first, as I said, is off at 11:40. And don't forget that free Hollywoodbet Punter Challenge entry. It needs to be on 5 minutes before the advertised starting time of the first. Put those selections through, spend the $50 on the bet slip, because that puts you in line for that double life-changing jackpot prize that is on offer. Now, the first race on the card on the turf is a maiden juvenile plate to be run over 1,400 metres, and 10 runners will line up. Here, number 4, Eastern Highlands, is at 1.82. 1 Black Jack Randall at 2.86. 3.03 number 5 Flag Champ, 4-1 number 7 Director. Where am I going? I'm squarely in the camp of the favourite, number 4 Eastern Highlands, from the stable of Alison Wright. This horse ran a very good debut when finishing 4th, beaten just over 2 lengths by the winner, over 1,200 metres. This horse was slow that day, was green, hung out in the closing stages, but would have come on with the benefit of that run under the belt. I do think would enjoy the step up to 1,400 metres, and with any amount of natural improvement expected, I do think that this horse will be a tough one to beat. So I'm going 4 Eastern Highlands to win it, ahead of 5 Flag Champ, 1 Black Jack Randall, and 7 Director. Second race is also on the turf, a maiden juvenile plate for fillies. Also over 1,400 metres, 12 runners will line up in the second of the afternoon. Here, number 8 Act of Grace is at 2.5-1. Next on offer is number 9 Charge It at 3.33. Number 2 Love the USA is at 3.57. 4 Winter Blessing at 4.55. And number 12 Sol Namora at 5-1. Where am I going? I'm siding with Glenn Cotson and Chad Little. They have certainly been amongst the winners of late. I like the way this horse showed the necessary improvement from first to second outing. That last start was over this distance on the poly. That form line has held up well. The horse that finished 3rd that day was a horse called Miss Glitter Sparkle, who has subsequently come out and won to frank that form line. Only concern I have about Act of Grace is that she does have the tendency of being slow away, and that she's shown in the 2 starts she's had to date. If she jumps on terms, I do think it will take a power of beating to get past her. So I'm going 8 Act of Grace to beat number 12 Sol Namora, 2 Love the USA, and 4 Winter Blessing. Race 2 is the first leg of the bipot. You need to be on with the bipot at 12:15. And race 3 is the first leg of the place accumulator, and that jumps at 12:50. And I do think that Glenn Cotson will continue about his winning ways in race number 3, because I'm looking no further than the odds-on favourite here, number 3 Cassandra. This horse ran a very good debut when finishing 3rd, just over 2 lengths behind the winner. Was running on very nicely in the closing stages last time out. Should enjoy the step up to 1,400, particularly the way this horse finished off last time out. And with that run under the belt and any amount of natural progress expected, without a shadow of a doubt, rates the one to beat, especially with that nice galloping weight of just 53 kilograms on the back. So 3 Cassandra to win the 3rd, ahead of number 5 Baltic Assair, 7 Queen of the Year, and 1 The Golden Goal. Race number 4 is the first leg of the Pick 6. 1:30 is the off-time race 4. It's the KZN Breeders' Juvenile Plate where 8 runners will line up at the 1,200 metre mark, and this is one of those races where you probably could make a case for half the field. Top of the boards is number 3 War Talk at 2.86-1. 3.03 number 4 Fortress of Fire. 3.33 number 8 Master Silvano. 3.57, number 1, George's Magic. And then it's 10-1 and upwards, the others. In fact, I missed one. Number 6, Dungeon Master, is at 5-1. So you can see a case can probably be made for any one of those 4 or 5 that I mentioned, because we have, they're very closely priced up on top of each other. Where am I going? I'm going with number 8, Master Silvano. I thought a very good debut. Went fourth, beaten 1.35 lengths behind the winner. Was green on debut, but was staying on very, very nicely at the business end of affairs. That was over 1,100 metres at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. I definitely think he would have come on with the benefit of that one under the belt. And now going on to Polly over 1,200. With natural improvement expected, I do think will be very, very competitive and could pretty much be the one they all have to beat. So I'm siding with Stuart Ferry and Sean Veal in race 4, going 8 Master Silvano, ahead of number 3 War Talk, 1 George's Magic, and 6 Dungeon Master. Race number 5 is the first leg of the first jackpot. It's a maiden plate where 11 runners will line up at the 1,700 metre mark. In race 5, number 10, Window to My Soul, is at 1.82-1. Next on offer, 4 T-Dog, 3.57. 2 Quince Time is at 4-1. 6.25, 11 Perfectly Picked. And 9 Owner of Creation, 8.33. 10-1 and upwards bar those. I can see why number 10, Window to My Soul, is favoured, because this horse is certainly coming along the right way. I'm looking for a bit of value, and I do think I found a nice one for us maybe to have an each-way play on here, and that is number 11, Perfectly Picked. From the stable of Wendy Whitehead, Cabello Mazzaniani is now on board. This horse set the pace last time out, over 1,800 metres on the turf, and just got caught in the shadow of the post by Rani Terabai. There was half a length in it when they crossed the wire, and I do think Cabello Mazzaniani will in all likelihood use this horse's early gate speed to get across from the deep draw of 11 without using too much, and from the front will be very hard to peg back in the run to the wire. So, from the front, I'm going with number 11, Perfectly Picked to win it, ahead of number 10, Window to My Soul. For third, I'm going with 4 T-Dog, and fourth, number 6, Call Me Wild. That takes us on to the 6th race on the card. It's the KZN Breeders 1900, where 7 runners will line up at the 1,900 metre mark. I'm looking no further than number 1, Hat's Queen. This horse showed pace and was staying on nicely in the Will Lavington 2000 Grade 2 last time out. In the penultimate, ran second in the Lister's East Coast Cup. She's definitely the class horse in this race. She's the highest rated. She's from the stable of Tony Peter with Gavin Larena on board. I think she'll take a power of beating. So 1, Hat's Queen to win it, ahead of 2, Queen Amina. For third, I'm going with 4, Sasha's Dream, and fourth, number 6, African Dusk. We now move on to race number 7 on the programme, and race 7 is the KZN Breeders 1200. 12 runners will line up at the 1,200 metre mark. And here we have a situation where you could probably again make a case for any one of about 4 or 5 runners in this race. Number 5, Taurus Star, is currently priced up 3.57-1. 4-1, number 1, Sting. 4.55, number 3, Agrado. 5-1, number 9, Silver Tudor. 7.14, number 7, Kalahari Roller. And 10-1 and upwards, the others. Funnily enough, I'm not going for any one of those that's sitting in the betting in single figures. I'm going for a horse in double figures here. I like the look of number 2, Proud Master. I do think this horse is much better than those 2 last indifferent runs. We're finishing well downfield, however, did have excuses on both occasions. Last time out, the jockey came back and reported to have felt something amiss, and in the run prior to that, returned not striding out. Now, if one looks at that last form line of number 2, Proud Master, that form line has been franked by the horse that won. This is what it means, has won since this race. The horse that finished third that day was a horse called Rosh Kadesh, also come out and won since. And the horse that finished sixth, a horse called Guillaume Batista, has also come out and won. So 3 horses have franked that last form line of number 2, Proud Masters. This horse I also thought ideally course and distance suited. If you look at that column, you'll see 9 runs for 6 wins and 1/3. And if they got to the bottom of all these issues that he's been showing of late, I do think that this horse will run a much improved race this time round and be very, very competitive. So I'm going number 2, Proud Master, to win it, ahead of Wonder Sting. For third, number 5, Taurus Star, and fourth, number 7, Kalahari Roller. That takes us on to race 8, the non-black type KwaZulu-Natal Breeders' Mile. This one over 1,600 meters, 11 runners will line up. Where are we going? What does the betting say? 10, Legal Counsel, 3.33 to 1. 4 to 1, number 3, Danton from Santon. Also number 2, Cherry Anu at 4 to 1. 5 to 1, number 5, Soldier Zion, 6 to 1, and upwards the others. I'm going Justin Snaith, Andrew Fortune. This 8th race is, of course, run on the turf. I thought this horse is just about ready to win it based on that last run when finishing second behind This Is What It Means, who, as I mentioned in the race prior to this, has come out and subsequently won. So too has Rosh Kadesh and Guillaume Batista. 3 horses have come out of that form line and have franked it since. I do think that a Legal Counsel does have the form to win a race of this nature. If he can overcome the draw of 10, and it's good to see Andrew Fortune retaining the ride, I do think that this horse will be a tough nut to crack. If he overcomes it, sits in a nice handy position, and kicks away at the right time, it will be a case of come and catch me if you can. So 10, Legal Counsel to win it, ahead of 2, Cherry Anu. For third, I'm going 6, African Skyline, and fourth, number 3, Danton from Santon. That takes us on to race number 9. It's the KZN Breeders 1600. 10 runners over 1,600 meters. Number 5, Villa Vicosa, is a 3.33 to 1. 4 to 1, both number 3, Redu, and 2, Willow Express. They both at 4 to 1. 5 to 1, number 9, Peace Treaty, 7 to 1, Bar. I'm going with MJ Woodendall's runner, number 5, Villa Vicosa. Matthew Thackeray does duty. I thought that was a very good last run when finishing second, beaten in neck over 1,900 meters on the turf. This one also won its maiden over the strip, incidentally. And my only concern is the last couple of runs where this horse was a little bit slow off the mark. If he's got rid of that bad habit and he just jumps on terms here, I do think he can be competitive in a race of this nature. So I'm going 5, Villa Vicosa to win it, ahead of number 2, Willow Express, 1, Actor, and 9, Peace Treaty. That takes us on to the 10th and final event on the program. And if everything goes according to schedule, we'll jump at 5 o'clock. And what does the betting say for the last race on the program? It is 3.03 to 1. But Justin Snaith's runner, number 10, Among the Clouds. You can get 5 to 1. Number 6, Maverick Queen. 1, Miss Paget at 5 to 1. 2, Happy Fortune, 6.25. So 2, number 3, Princess Palace at 6.25 to 1. 7.14 and upwards. The others, that's the betting available on hollywoodbets.net. But what was interesting is that on the page prior to getting to race 10, my good friend Mr. Howell says that number 10, Princess Palace, she is racing consistently and can run into the money. I then went to have a look at Princess Palace and I realized that she's always there or thereabout. In fact, a horse called Buttercup Baby has come out and franked that last form line of hers. She finished third in her only attempt over the course and distance. The blinkers have been removed. She jumps from stall gate 3, and I don't really think she's got a money chance. I think she can win it. So let's go with the value. 6.25, number 3, Princess Palace, to beat number 1, Miss Paget. Miss Paget for second, number 1. For third, I'm going with 10, Among the Clouds, and fourth, number 5, Pour Some Sugar on Me. And that takes care of our preview of racing on Sunday afternoon at Hollywoodbets Greyville. It is the KZN Breeders' Meeting. It is always one of the highlights of the season. If you're in the vicinity, why not pop along and go and enjoy the afternoon, take the family along and have some fun. From me, Rouvaun, trust you had an enjoyable and profitable weekend's racing. Till next time, cheers for now.